Welcome. My name is Arna, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use our Club Wizard to process customer choice, member choice, allocation clubs. They're referred to as three different names. So what is a member choice allocation club? Well, this is a club that allows your customers, your members, to select their own items. The club manager can pre-select items for each customer, and then you can have limits and restrictions on how these can be applied. Active Club provides a purpose-built website application for member choice allocation. If you're looking for the fixed package type clubs, we have a different video on that subject. Now, member choice allocation clubs can have names, and this is significant because it means that you can run multiple choice clubs at the same time, or you can have different time periods where the selection process happens simultaneously over time in different clubs by giving them names. In this example, we are going to be offering 7 wines that they can choose from. We're going to be pre-packaging or pre-selecting 2 wines, and neither of these wines can be removed from their selection. And one of the items will be restricted to a maximum of 2. So let's go and take a look how this is actually done in Active Club. So I would now open up the inventory, and these are these 7 inventory items I was referring to. Take a look at one here. And going to, first of all, the General tab, you will see here I am declaring that it will not be allowed to delete this from your selection. Then on this tab, here is where I'm setting up the maximum. And then on the Stock tab, this is where, for the warehouse in Napa, I'm putting that stock onto the member choice selection cart, and that is determined here. That's how that's done. Now, when you run a member choice club, there are 15 steps that we recommend that you go through. And this demonstration is going to be going through each one of those steps. Now, as you become more familiar with Active Club, you can run all of these steps outside of the wizard if you so desire. So let's create our club wizard run. So the first thing I do is create a new club wizard run, and I'm going to specify that this is the VIP club. I will not specify a type here. I don't need that. And then for the text, I'm going to copy some stuff from here so I don't have to type. So that's the description. And this is the notes that I'm putting into my club. And then I shall push, I need to select here, selection. It's a selection type club, and then push Start Club Run. And you can see now I have these 15 steps created for me. Now up here, this is my club membership. There's just 7 people in my club. And I'm leaving this window open so you can see some of what's going on dynamically. And for those that have a multi-monitor setup, you can move the wizard to a separate monitor and then watch what's going on in the customer and transaction window on a separate monitor. Okay, so let's go to our steps. The first step is a pre-club release step. And this is where I'm going to assign a user ID, a user name, if you like, to all my members who do not already have one. And this is so to ensure that everybody can log in to the website and make their selections. So let's go back and run that step. Scroll back up here to the top, and I'm just going to go assign, and you'll see it's waiting, and it's already completed. Now the next pre-club release step is to actually set up what we call a selection package. This is going to be a package that contains the items that you want to pre-configure all the customers to have already pre-selected, as you were. So let's go to Active Club and go through that step. So I'm going to click on the big button down here. It opens this window, and I'm going to give the package a name. I'm just going to go over here and borrow my handy text so I don't have to type. I'm going to declare that this is a wine club, alcohol, and then I want to put in one of my Rutherford cabs. And I want to take it out of the Napa warehouse. And then I'm going to get a Pinot. And I want to get that out of the Napa warehouse too. So this is now done. I'm going to go create package. So we're ready. Let's go back to our list. So the next step is actually part of the club release, which is to assign these selection packages to your customers. And this is better seen so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to now say assign package to customers. And at this point, I would have to make a decision whether I want to remove all existing selections, which you can see up here, they already exist. And I want to get rid of those, or I want to add. Also, I have a choice where I can pick the name of this selection club. And I was referring to earlier the name of the club. We don't have very many set up here, but I'm just going to pick the standard default, which is selection. And I'm going to pick that I want to purge out anything that's already there and refresh with new data. And you can watch that in this customer window above. So I'm going to hit OK. and it's already finished. And you can see here now we have different selections for all our members. This is our Rutherford, and our Pinot Noir has then been distributed to each one of our customers. So far, so good. Let's have a look at the next step. So the next step is back into the pre-release phase, which is now to send this selection confirmation email, or send the selection confirmation email to all our customers. That allows them to see what has been selected for them and go onto the website and make changes as they feel appropriate. And there is a link included in this email for that purpose. So let's go back to our Club Run wizard, and it says send selection confirmation email. Let's push the button. There are two. There's one for pickup and one for ship. This is what they look like. Again, they have all these codes. So in order to see them clearly, you would then send a sample. You can make minor changes to them right here on the fly. Anything major, I recommend doing that in the HTML editor outside of the wizard. So let's send ourselves a sample shipment one. That button, hit OK, go to the email system, and delete the previous Club Run. And here we are. This is what it's going to look like for somebody that is receiving it by shipping. And you can see here the products that we selected. Here is a link for them to log in. So back to Active Club. Let's send this for real. So I'm going to send this out. Now, I happen to be one of these customers, so I will be getting this email. And then we can go through and pretend that we are a customer and see what that would look like. So that's running. And now it's completed. So let's hop over to our email, and you can see here it has arrived. And this is what my order looks like. I have a 10% discount. I've got the Rutherford and the Pinot Noir. And I can now click on this link to go up to the website and have a look. So I'm going to log in. So here is my credit card file. This is my history. I don't seem to have any. My shipping information. Here I could change it that I'm not going to pick up, but I want to ship instead. Let's have a look at my choices. So this is what I'm presented with. I'm presented with my order as it exists from that step that we just completed. And let's say I wanted to change this. I really would like to have another one of these cabs from Rutherford. I'm going to add one. So you can see up here in the little mini basket that is now 2 orders here. I'm going to add one more, and you'll see that I've gone over my limit. But I will add this one. So now I have 4 products. Let's have a look. So there we have, I have 2 of the Rutherfords, and I added this Meritage, however you pronounce it. And I am ready to say, I'm going to commit that. Okay. That's all there is to that. Now going back to Active Club, if I was to refresh this window here, you'll see that Charlie has modified the Rutherford order. He's got 2 here, and he's added 1 wine, and this is the one that was originally put in. So we have dates, and the wines. You really keep careful track on what they are doing on the customer choice allocation cart, as we refer to it. And there are plenty of other selection views that you can spin here. Okay. Moving right along. What's the next step? So the next step is to validate all my shipping addresses. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm now validating my shipping addresses so that any printing issues will be eliminated when it comes to printing labels. And there we go, it's just finished. And let's go back to our steps. All right, now we're actually into the actual club run. So we're not dealing now before the club run. We're not talking about weeks ahead. We're now talking about the day we're going to actually run our club. And step 6 is setting up the discounts that we want to use for all our different bottle quantities. So if you had, bought 2 bottles or 4 bottles, you get a different discount. What we're going to show you here is one of our most simple ways of doing that. There are many others, but this is the simplest way. So this is called updating the empty box packages. And you can see here all the different sizes. This is the 2-bottle package is getting 10%, and the 4-bottle, we're only going to have 4s and 2s in this club run. They're getting 15%. I'm going to change that number to 20. So that one person that's got 4 on order will get 20%. Update that, and we'll declare this step done. Now we're ready to go to the next step. The next step is to update your sales tax rates and the codes for the customers that live in destination tax states. We isolate this as a separate step so that you can correct any issues with this step before you get to creating the actual orders. So let's go back and run that step. So this will, again, create the destination sales tax rates for all those customers that you're shipping to that live in a destination tax state. So here we go. Update sales tax codes. And it is running. And it's completed very quickly. And now we can go to our next step, which is to actually create the orders. And it's going to be using what our customers have selected to create these orders. So before we start that, I'm going to open a window here so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to click on the running the job, the running a step. It's now running. And it's doing a number of things like going out to the weather report and FedEx or any of the shippers to get the real-time rating for it. It might be going to ship compliant if you're using that. But that's all the activity that you saw taking place. So here are my orders, my 8 people. And there's one here that you can see that has some weather going on. And this one here is a pickup. So let's look at our next step. And that is to verify that these transactions are in fact correct. There can be errors with the shipping and handling, the discounts, sales tax. We want to validate this data is correct before we charge any cards. So I'm going to hop over to the validation tab, expand this out a little, and I'm going to put my little handy marker on. And you can see that taxes have been charged all the way. I got no tax problems. Now I do have a shipping and handling of 0 here, but that's a pickup. That's valid. This is a 0 shipping and handling, although it did come up with a actual shipping cost. So I don't know why that's 0. We'll take a look at that. And everything else looks good. All the selling prices are good. And all the totals are good. So we just have that one order for no shipping cost. So open that one up. You can see here on the detail tab that they in fact have a 100% discount on shipping. And that's been set up on their customer record. We can also see that here. Okay. So that's the reason. So I can now say, yes, these are all good. I'm going to accept those and move on to the next step. Now the next step is to charge the cards, the fun part. So let's go back to Active Club, and I'm going to flip this view, spin this view to credit card. So we get a little more action on the screen. Again, this is great for dual monitor setups. So I'm going to run the cards. And you'll see that that is now waiting, and it's running, and we should start seeing stuff happening here. We got 1 success, 2 success, 3 success. That one failed. There's another success, and another success. Because we're using a development gateway, every time I do this, it's like a lottery as to how well this is going to go. And thank you. Today it went really well. So I've only got 2 that didn't go through. So I'm ready for my next step. What's that? Well, that's to print the shipping labels. And we support all 3 of the carriers, GSO and UPS and FedEx, and we print these natively in Active Club. You don't have to use any external programs. So now I'm going to push print the shipping labels. And FedEx, I'm going to pick the Zebra printer, a standard FedEx label. I'm going to pick here the Zebra printer. and it's ready to go. I'm going to hit print. So my printer is now printing FedEx labels. And we can move on to the next step. And this is to send out sales receipts. Now that we've actually charged the cards, we are got the labels printed so we can ship the ones that are being shipped. We're now ready to send everybody their receipts. I push send receipts, and we have the receipt templates for the various shippers and also for a special one for pickups. Obviously, they don't have tracking numbers. So let's send ourselves a FedEx sample. They have tracking numbers on them. And again, these are all these codes that it's hard to see exactly the appearance until you send yourself a sample of it. You can fiddle with the design right here, but again, recommended you use the HTML editor outside the wizard. So let's send ourselves a sample. Okay, and it should now be in my inbox or on its way. And there we have it. There is a sample shipping receipt. It's got the tracking link, and it shows you the contents of each box. You could have had more than one box. Total weight, the tracking number. Get my highlighter on here. The tracking number, the weight, cost, and so on. So that was just a sample. Let's do the real McCoy. So out go the receipts. And it is now running. And it is now completed. And we're ready for the next step. Now, I should be receiving a receipt because I'm one of the customers that the charges went through. So this is my I'm a pickup customer. So this is my actual receipt that I'm receiving here. And I got 20% discount. Remember, we changed that. All right, ready for the next step. The next step is getting a bad credit card letter out to those whose card were declined. So I push here the bad credit card letter, and again, I can send myself a sample. And I can actually send them out from here. I'm not sure whether anybody. Well, let's just send them out. So that step is completed. Let's go back to my steps. And again, that credit card letter allows them to log in online and make the appropriate changes to their credit card number online or their billing address. So effectively now the club run is finished. The next step is delete the pending selections. This is a voluntary step. You don't need to do this. You can leave them and delete them next time you do a club run. But let me show you what that is. So here we have it. And if I bring up my customer windows, it's customers, and I will now execute this. All these customers are now going to be without any selections at all. There are no selections. The last step is updating the credit cards. For all those that were declined, this allows you to move any activity onto the transaction so that you can redo the credit card charging. The customers will change it online on the website. They might call in. They might go into the tasting room and have a card swipe on update on file. All these various ways of getting the credit card changed are then, when you run this command, they will then update those transactions so you can go and repeat the charge credit cards step until you have a club run where there are no declines. Let's do this one. I hit that command. It didn't find any updates, obviously, because nothing's been made. But it is now waiting for those updates to take place. And you can come back and run this again, and then you run the charge the credit cards again, and then you can go run the printing and the receipts and all these steps. You can go around in circles here with the wizard. So that's all there is to the wizard running a member choice allocation club. It turns a rather complicated process into being relatively simple. I thank you for coming to this show, and I look forward to seeing you next time.